Good evening. Give everybody a chance to jump in here. What's up, Irish? You're first to the party, it looks like. Everything seems to be running fine. You got audio on your end. Can you hear? Awesome. Where you at, Blame Tag? All right. So, it's that kind of week. Had a little bit of under the weatherness here at the hacienda for about 7 or 8 days now. Hero is on the mend. Hopefully she'll be better here in the next 48 hours. That would be great. I thought I was going to be sick today. I did wake up not feeling so great, but as the day progressed, I was okay. And as you can tell, my voice is a little bit like a motorcycle engine at this moment in time. So, but anyway, similar format as of last week. The question of the week, though, is actually going to be the bigger part of what we do tonight. So, but anyway, first thing to get out of the way is alternate communities. So I think we're sitting at about 30 or 31 members right now. It is the essentially forgotten community on Reddit. Kind of coupled with that, I'm going to give my thoughts on Twitter real quick. Something I thought about over the past couple of days. I know a lot of people are jumping ship, and there's several of us who have decided we're going to go down with the ship, just like the band on the Titanic. But a lot of people are jumping ship because of who took ownership. And it's interesting because social media, for all good that it does get kind of fickle. And a lot of the same people that have jumped off of Twitter don't like Bill Gates, didn't like Steve Jobs, despise Tim Cook, but yet they're using Windows, OS X, or iOS. Something to think about. Now, it could also be that there's not a lot of viable alternatives. I mean, there's Linux. Linux doesn't do a lot for, the non-computer savvy. But as far as alternatives for Twitter, all the different things we're looking at are really just carbon copies. It's not anything new. Mastodon, yeah, it basically, if you look at it, it operates like Twitter. I haven't checked out Hive yet. I know some people have. It's my understanding only 2 people run that joint. And if they don't get some capital and whatnot, I can see that crashing and burning real fast. And then, Reddit's a very peculiar place in itself. So just my 2 cents on that. It's kind of hard to complain about who's running the thing when you're using products by other people you don't like. So I don't know. What I would advise is use it to your advantage while it's there. Have an alternative waiting, and then speed on out when the time comes. Blame Tag says it's hard to get the billionaire's fingers out of your pie. Well, unfortunately, most everything we use, billionaires have their fingers in, and that sucks. Good evening, Erica. Happy biggest bar night of the year to all. Nice. Yeah, we're getting that stuff too. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the headlines. I've got a few here. We'll go over these and then we'll keep it moving. So headlines and headaches for this week. Called Stupid Little Hitler. Shop workers speak out as retail staff abuse rises. And then this next one underneath it, that's 2-part. The figures actually go with the headline. Somerset shop workers tell of shocking abuse from customers. And overall, the figures from the prior year, which that's what's in parentheses. So that's during the height of COVID. So as of now, that 71% have experienced verbal abuse, which is up. 48% were threatened by a customer, which is up. 5%, which was flat, were assaulted. 45% said they were not confident that reporting abuse, threats, and violence will make a difference. And 20% of those who had been assaulted did not report the incident. Next headline. LA's Fair Work Week ordinance passes, first city council vote. If you go read the article, and like last week, all the links to the articles are in the description of the video after it goes live. The one thing that they've got there is, I believe they have to have a 14-day notice on their schedule, which is huge, which would eliminate managers changing schedules at the last minute. And the other one was, if they're not allotted, I believe it's 10 hours between shifts, if they come in sooner than that between shifts, they get time and a half. So that's something to keep a watch on and see if that's something that spreads. Your next headline, Black Friday may be dying, but retail workers are still getting assaulted. Life at the economy's bottommost rung is no fun when you go holiday shopping. Please be patient and kind. Thank you. Next headline, retail employee turnover on the rise. Surprise. This is a fun one, and it's really interesting that the typo in the headline. But anyway, USPS will have fewer employees this holiday season, but feels ready. Good stuff right there, right? So the next set of headlines, one that we've pretty been cognizant of, a Walmart worker in Virginia opens fire, killing at least 6 people. Come to find out, this person was a manager for Walmart. I'm not sure what level. It wasn't the store manager, but very, very tragic. And I'm sure we'll find out more as it goes on as far as, what the motives were. Your next headline, and this is a great one, for you guys in fast food. Man allegedly pulls gun on Wendy's employee after not getting sauce with his meal. Wendy's employees closed the drive-thru and called 911 after he allegedly drew a gun over a missing sauce packet. God, are these people going to do like this when, that Szechuan sauce for McDonald's, when they try to, make that limited edition? Somebody going to get mad and freak out. Next headline. ONS report into wages and inflation. Professional and scientific sectors keep pace. Retail, property, and finance suffer. And water is wet. Go read that one because it gives you the top 3 industries that are suffering. And yeah, it's what we all thought it would be. Your next headline for the week. Fast food worker, 19, loses her right eye after being punched in the face while trying to protect a special needs boy from a thug who was threatening to beat him up. I don't regret stepping in. Admirable. Here's one that kind of hits close to home for some of us because of some of the people we know on social media. Fred Meyer facing class action lawsuit for allegedly not paying employees. Boy, that's been a trend here lately, and it's kind of scary. There's an addendum to the Apple Store staff petition to unionize a third store, this time in St. Louis. They today withdrew their petition, basically due to the threats from Apple corporate. Another one. Revealed, which industries have lost the most workers this year? Plot twist. We all know. And Americans are chugging ahead with their Great Resignation. And that's really one of the first times I've seen Great Resignation in an article recently. This one was really interesting too. What in the Dollarama is going on in here? Michael's customer slams manager for mistreating employee amid store chaos. It's probably not the time to roast your employees given staff shortages. And then the final one, retail workers union raises concerns about bad behavior in stores as disappointed shoppers confront empty shelves. So yeah, a lot going on there. A lot of news, so to speak. Oh wow, Eric has posted some breaking news as well. Blame Tag says, I'm glad I've fallen off these articles since the last time I was on. So it was an overnight team leader for Walmart. Yeah, that's pretty sad. All right, so going into our next thing, Blame Tag, I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about our sponsor. The Serving Times, poopable news satire for the customer service community. As if customer service wasn't ridiculous enough. 5 stars. Hard-hitting satirical journalism at its finest. Andrew Puzder. So, if you haven't checked it out, the link to the Serving Times is in the description of the video. Please go check it out and please share. It's some great, great, great stuff he's got going on over there. So, I'm honored to have written or helped make Please Don't Be a Karen this year into a reality. Very talented writer. Another new thing, there's new Christmas merchandise. So the link to the merch store is in the description of the video. There's a code for free shipping. Ho, ho, ho. Got some new items. We've got these pennants. We've got the Irish Connection's most famous phrase. We've got the employees are more than a controllable expense. We also have the brand new, which will be discontinued on Christmas Eve. It's beginning to look a lot like Fuck This line of merchandise. We still have the Dear Customer shirts. We still have the original Warzone shirts. We've got the retail Warzone coffee mug. There's an Irish Connection coffee mug. There's also, it's beginning to look a lot like Fuck This coffee mug. I toyed around with the idea. I was able to have a Nintendo Switch case, like clamshell that goes on the back, that I had mocked up. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Now, guys, like I've told you before, I don't make any money off of the podcast. I don't ask for donations. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So if you want to help a brother out, go buy some merchandise. Yes, the prices aren't all that great. I've lowered them down to where I think the most I make on any product's like $2, but it helps get the word out there. It's cool stuff. I'm really kind of proud of the beginning. It's beginning to look a lot like Fuck This. I guess that's the juvenile in me, but I enjoy it anyway. So there you go. Blame Tank says he's going after the NRF and Retail Industry Leaders Association this week. Ooh, you're going to give me some stuff to put in the headlines? That would be awesome. All right, so now we're going to get to the crux of everything, which is, while we're all here, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, nonsense. So typically I do this question of the week and it's at the end. But what I wanted to do this week is if we got like some cool stories to discuss or whatnot, it was going to really be the primary focus of the conversation. After we get through these, I'm going to talk a little bit about grocery, and then we'll kind of wrap it up there. But what I did was I'd posted the question of the week, and it was Thanksgiving Black Friday story time. What was your worst working experience in grocery, retail, or service industry for either Thanksgiving or Black Friday? If the stories are good, I may dedicate the entire show to them. Ready, set, go. So we got a few responses. First, let's get the party poopers out of the way. You got Blame Tag, who, I'm sorry, not really, to say that I've successfully and inadvertently avoided working in business affected by Black Friday my entire working life. Congratulations, sir. Cranky Manager, kind of saying, being in Canada, we now do big sales, but it's only happened in the past decade, essentially to keep Canadians spending money here rather than traveling. It's still nowhere near the insanity as the U.S. either. But then we had some actual stories. We got formerly retail musings. One Black Friday, we were in full swing with insane lines and chaos in store, and that's when all the registers in the store decided to crash. I thought the customers were going to riot. They got so mad so fast because everything came to a grinding halt and everyone had to wait. Not one of the worst stories, but it got super tense. On a funny note, though, while this was going on, I had a customer come in wanting to do a return at 6 a.m. on Black Friday. They got so angry with me for telling them they had to wait in line. I'm just doing a return. And then Adria French gave Blame Tag and I an update on her Thanksgiving week. Update on tea giving week grocery work. 1, sliced a bit of flesh from my finger while slicing potatoes. 2, sliced into my pinky finger while quartering limes. 3, store director told me my cheese slicing skills were spectacular. 4, I should get a raise. Then we had Patricia Hutchins. She said, not a nightmare, but working in a grocery on Thanksgiving for the last 6 years, I have learned women send their husbands to the store with obscure, unfindable lists. Every year, I get several little old men with insane lists. I'm assuming their wives just want to get them out of the house so they can cook. So they come up with crazy stuff and send them off to the store. Too funny. That's crazy. I've never heard of anything like that, but that's pretty amazing if so. That's quite humorous. But there's more. We've got hybrid hooligan. I had a customer ram their buggy and invert my knee, and my 5-foot-tall ex had to drag me off the floor. My first Black Friday, I was working electronics, mostly the video game cases at Target back when they still had full 7-foot-tall cases, and it was so crowded. Me and the other guy were standing on the edge of the base deck while the flood was shoulder to shoulder like the Halloween tragedy in South Korea. It was the first year the Wii was out. Ooh, I remember first year Wii. And then KC, this was great. DEFCON 1 here. If I see another can of cranberry sauce, box of stuffing, or am asked where the yams are, I'm going to scream. Y'all don't pay attention to that shit for 11 months a year. Now all of a sudden you just have to have it. Facts. Then we got Drunken Server. Once had a group of 20 come in on Black Friday. It was a typical table. Everyone got drinks and food in a relatively timely manner. Although the check was $315, they each had a separate check. And the Karen of the group felt it necessary to say, just so you know, we're going to be doing some Black Friday shopping, so you understand not getting a tip, right? I played it off saying, oh, haha, of course, thinking they were joking. Made 73 cents off the table. Then we got Pinstripe. My first Black Friday was at Target in 2009. They scheduled me for the opening shift in electronics. Everything went well for the first hour until this little old lady asked me for one of the $20 DVD players we were selling. It was the last one, and she was so happy. It was all she came out for, and was for her grandson. She scurried away to check out up front. About halfway up, another woman approached her and tried to rip it out of her hand. Old lady put up a good fight, and the younger woman punched her square in the nose. The old lady went down, and the young woman grabbed the DVD player and went to check out. Asset protection and managers were informed, and the sheriff deputy we had assigned to our store was waiting for her checkout. She caught an assault charge and went to jail. EMS came for the old lady, and she had a broken nose. One of the managers paid for the DVD player for her. That is awesome. I mean, it's unfortunate that there was violence, but that's pretty awesome that the manager, pitched out the $20 or whatnot. It's not that big a deal. So, but yeah. There's some stories, folks. Stories. So let's take a look at the chat what we got here. Erica says, we thought the Tickle Me Elmo days were bad. Yeah. Blame Tank says, I know my wife and her mom sent me to Winn-Dixie today for green peppers and something called Moose Tracks. Oh, that'd be ice cream. That's tasty stuff too, bro. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Only if you get Mayfield, though, because Mayfield Moose Tracks is superior. But anyway, so, yeah. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I think to date, my worst Black Friday still to this day is Kmart. That was this nonsense where we were open on Thanksgiving. I went in, I had to work overnight. We had like a sale that ran until the store closed on Thanksgiving night, which was like 7, I think is what time we closed. But then you had to put up hundreds and hundreds of sales tags and change displays only to reopen it. I think it was like 11. And then at 11 p.m., you get a bunch of people coming in, only for 3 hours. Then you had to kick everybody out of the store, lock up, put up hundreds more different sale signs, reopen, rinse and repeat. I think it was 2 more times until the actual opening at 6 a.m. Absolute nonsense. When that was going down, if you're familiar with Kmart and you're familiar with layaway, all the register systems went down overnight. Now think about this. Kmart wasn't a smartly ran company, so the help desk was non-existent in the middle of the night. I think they only had one person there. But anyway, the entire POS system goes down. I have a guy with a shopping cart full of merchandise, and I'm not talking like some little basket cart. I'm talking like a big, deep shopping cart. He was there with his mother, got pissed off, picked up the shopping cart, and literally threw it in the air to where it flipped. Merchandise flying everywhere because the thing was fucking full. Wanted to fight. And I'm like, fine, whatever. And his mother grabbed him and was like, well, you quit acting this way. And they left. And the interesting thing was, as bad as that was, dude came back maybe like a week later and apologized because his mom made him. I mean, it's a full-grown adult. I mean, this dude probably 40 at the time, but literally hoisted a full shopping cart up in the air, customers everywhere, because the system was down. Sorry, can't do it. And then you got the layaway issue where you had people coming, to pick up their layaway. And I'll never forget, the layaway line was almost to the layaway was in the back of the store. It was about halfway up to the front. Just absolute nightmare. Worst prepared company ever on the face of the planet. Most nonsense sales I've ever seen. And then at 6 a.m. when the big event happened, the doorbusters, like I think the big one was like some huge TV, right? We only got 3. So we had to go out and do this raffle for people who've been waiting out there for hours. And boy, when they found out there were only 3, they got all kind of pissed off, ready to fight. And then as soon as we let the doors open, we had this one guy who was drunk as hell go to electronics, actually grab an employee ladder, like one of those rolling ladders, and climb up to the top shelf to grab like this TV that wasn't even on sale, knock a bunch of other TVs off and shit. Absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Hero says a lady asked if she could leave her 8 to 9-year-old boy in the store at the door with me to get all her turkey bucks timestamped while she went shopping elsewhere. Oh wow. I might have to do a whole episode one night on turkey bucks just to explain that if you're not familiar with Michaels, what they used to do. What was the craziest fad you witnessed or heard of? Cabbage Patch Dolls. Furby was big. Cabbage Patch Dolls were big. Tickle Me Elmo, obviously. Beanie Babies, yes. Holiday Barbies there for a long time. People would fight over. That was a big deal. Trying to think, having kids, fortunately, most of my kids never really like jumped on the like hot toy bandwagon. They were raised around certain things and they liked Batman and stuff like that. Game systems. Well, yeah, game systems were always hot, but it's gotten worse over the years. I mean, I remember like when I got the Sega Dreamcast, it came out in 1999. So it was 9999. It was back then. It wasn't as fierce. Now I do know the year that The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time came out. That was a huge one, and I managed to secure one and put it in layaway at Kmart. There again, Kmart, long before I worked there, and go to pick it up, and they couldn't find it. And that's the first time and probably only time I've really went like full Karen. Because I'm like, motherfuckers, that's the only thing I want is that. You better go find it. And it took a couple hours. I don't know if they pulled one out of a box, that just came in or whatnot, but by God, I got it. And, that was a big deal because that game helped my oldest child learn how to read, actually. It was kind of cool. Nightmares in the Store said, I raised kids in the age of fidget spinners. Yeah, fidget spinners were a big deal. They really were. Crazy. The people that manufactured those, they just had to be laughing all the way to the bank. Now, I do remember when Rubik's Cubes came out, that I was younger when that happened. That Rubik's Cubes were a big deal. There was, I'm really dating myself. A hot toy when I was little was that big ass metal vibrating football field that had the little plastic players. You turned it on and it vibrated and yeah, that was a big deal. So, Blank Texas, I got in trouble at school for killing a classmate's Tamagotchi. Ooh. Barbie Corvette. Yes, Erica. I remember my sister got the Barbie Corvette and the Barbie McDonald's and asked me to play with her. And I said no. And my parents were like, you need to play. And guess what? Fine. I'm going to go grab my Kiss dolls. And I went in and ransacked the McDonald's. And I drove the Corvette off the stairs. Never had to play Barbies ever again. And I just blocked Sex Fine Biz. Snipe. But yeah, so that was a fun blame tag my hot photo here. No, thank you. Yes, Nightmares. Tamagotchi is that little digital keychain pet. That is correct. Oh, what was the baby doll that was like real that actually like pissed? Well, that was like a big deal. Hero, you got to know what that's called. My buddy and me like to climb up a tree. My buddy was big. Irish, what does the big toys and fads do they mirror the US over there, or is there like some odd specifically Irish thing? Thanks, blame tag. Yeah. Baby alive. Oh, hi, Jill. That is unfortunate. I understand, though. I work grocery, and I just happen to be off on Wednesdays. And it just works out that, yeah, I got to work on Thanksgiving, but when the grocery apocalypse started today, I don't have to be there. Now, I did go in to get some stuff, which was probably foolish. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was crazy, but, um, Nightmares in the Store says, my buddy, I have my brothers because he's scared of dolls now. He's watched too many horror movies. Irish says it's hit and miss. Some of the fads make it, some don't. We have some of our own. Oh, Irish, real quick. So one of my favorite YouTubers is Sam the Cooking Guy. And I'm watching his video on how to do like this half-ass emergency Thanksgiving dinner using a chicken. And I watch, and he's using butter, and I happen to see him open the wrapper, and I go to freeze frame it, and would you know it? He's using Kerrygold. There you go, Irish. I was very pleased. So you tell Jill, you tell her she's here in spirit. That's all that matters. Just hope she doesn't chop her finger anymore. Speaking of which, tell her not to feel bad. I about chopped my thumb off almost a month ago. This past weekend was the first 2 days I actually let it go naked without my thumb condom, so to speak. It's healed up, pretty big scar, but it still feels kind of weird. So I understand her pain. Nightmares in the Store says, blame tag. Everyone knows my buddy is Chucky. Welcome, Stephen. Oh, by the way, so Stephen Petrovelli going to be on the show the 7th, I believe. If I got that date wrong, let me know, but I think it was the 7th. I think I sent you the 5th or 7th, and you said the 7th was okay. So he will be back on talking about his comic book and all other stuff. So that will be excellent. Maybe we'll talk about some wrestling, too. I don't know. Let's see. I'll piss on it. Fair enough. But, so let's talk a little bit about grocery real quick. I do want to cover this. So, the day before Thanksgiving is like, it really is the equivalent of old school Black Friday in retail. And I say old school Black Friday because I think Black Friday's pretty much dead. It's not the same anymore. And that's probably a good thing. I think it's better for these businesses to spread out deals over the month than, stampedes. I mean, yeah, Black Friday's still a thing. And yes, people are going to act a fool. And yes, it's going to suck. But it's getting lesser and lesser. And it's something that needs to die anyway. I mean, it's a dangerous situation in a lot of places. But nobody wants to buy the $50 can of cranberry I posted on Facebook Marketplace. That is because this year we were in better shape. Now, I did think that we would run out of some stuff, and we did. But not as early as we did last year. So our overall in-stock was actually pretty good. There were some things... a cream of mushroom soup, Campbell's brand, didn't get it, completely wiped out, gone as of like yesterday. So tough shit, you're not getting it. Cranberry sauce we had, that was an improvement since last year. Last year was, like I said, but this is America. What do you mean you don't have cranberry sauce? Now, I don't know why people like that stuff. I think it's nasty, especially the jellied kind. There's a local restaurant here in town that every Friday they do like a meat and three, and they have this most excellent turkey and dressing. Because I'll eat turkey and dressing year round. I mean, if a restaurant makes it and it's good, I'm down with that, right? So we go, and I'm sitting there with Hero, and I'm like, I don't want the cranberry sauce because it's the little jelly like slice that comes out of a can. And she's like, oh, can you get that on the side? I'm like, what? How do you people eat that? That's nasty. Can some nostalgia? Okay, nostalgia is one thing. You could look at a picture, but eating it, no. I'm sorry. Sorry, Nightmares on the Store. I just can't get in that. Blame Texas. My wife said you can't be friends if you don't like the jelly kind. No, sorry. I don't know. But some things happen again this year that happened last time. Outside vendors didn't bring enough of their stuffing. Gone. It's like, whatever. Jill says, gravy is the big hot item here. I think people would drink a quart of gravy. I'm in the South, Jill. Half of our blood content's gravy, so I understand. Yes, we sold an epic fuck ton of Heinz turkey gravy. God. Here's a fun fact. It's not hard to make it, but by God, they'll buy it in a jar. Erica says there was a Kroger store that lost their entire reefer truck of turkeys because some dumb ass shut it down. I hope it was a meat department employee. The ultimate customer revenge. Ha ha. Iris says blame tag. My wife is the same. I have to try to find some in the morning. Not easy here. Oh, what is with the cranberry sauce? I don't understand. I mean, it's like you've got this wonderful, glorious meal with turkey and dressing and all this stuff, and they give you like cranberry. It's cranberry jello. Can you not make cranberry jello and it be the same? I mean, really? Same kind of texture, you know. You could do a fun game for Thanksgiving. You can do cranberry jello shots. There you go. So you're able to deal with the in-laws you don't like. Jill says we make our own cranberry sauce here. Guess what? We use actual cranberries. It's not difficult. Hero says it tastes like Thanksgiving, and Hero's apologizing for me. I apologize for him, y'all. And throat punch enters the chat. It holds the can shape. Right. Blame tag says my wife's coming in the chat now. You done fucked up. Hey, you guys do you. If y'all like it, that's great. I hope you were able to get it this year, and the store you frequent was fully in stock. Nightmares in the store. Miss Blame Tag, I do not eat gravy out of a jar. I eat homemade gravy. Hero can tell you a very interesting story about gravy in a jar. But anyway, no, but you know, same thing, you guys. My mother, you know, it is a staple. I mean, every Thanksgiving dinner I've ever went to, somebody's got it, but it's just not my thing. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's kind of like you got all this rich tasting food on the plate, and you get this plop of like sweet, and it's like, if I want sweet, I want like sweet potato casserole or something like that. Not the jelly stuff. I mean, it's like jelly. I mean, you put that on like bread and biscuits. Steve is also a strictly dressing, not stuffing person. That is correct. Stovetop stuffing serves its purpose for I don't know what, but homemade dressing is the way. Ooh, Erica, that sounds good. Oven roasted Brussels sprouts with loads of garlic. Yes, Miss Blame Tag. A lot of people here evidently do eat it straight out of the jar because we sold a shit ton of it. You know, it's in our household, you know, with the exception of one instance that will go down in infamy, and we'll never let each other live it down. Both my wife and I, we make our gravy homemade, and you know, and that's something as a Southerner. You know, my whole thing was learning how to make white, basically milk gravy. And it took me years to figure out because, you know, a lot of it's like, you know, your grandmas and whatnot, you know, have this feel, you know, for how to do it, you know, how much. I finally found a recipe that actually equaled it out that I can memorize, and it come out okay. The secret is House Altry chicken breader. There's your answer. No stuffing and boycotting. No, I mean, I like stovetop, but like I went to a restaurant here locally that's like a catering place, and they had turkey and dressing one day, and I'm thinking, well, it's a catering place, they do like homemade stuff or whatnot, and I get this turkey and dressing, and it's just stovetop. I'm like, oh, I could have done that at home, you know. Blame Tech says, Mel, my wife and her family don't make or eat stuffing. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like cranberry sauce. It's an acquired taste. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If it was never a staple growing up, you know, during the holidays, then, you know, it's not. I mean, I can see where, you know, some people don't do it. I know many years ago, I went to somebody's house and they had stuffing and it had oysters in it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. It didn't taste very good either. And that's the first time I ever had it. Because, you know, you try it because you want to be, you know, polite. You know, and you guys are crucifying me for this too. I don't like bratwurst at all. Jill says, I heard from Adria yesterday that a customer told her that she should drop what she's doing because the customer comes first. Customers don't know shit. Yeah, did Adria have a knife in her hand? Because if I'm not mistaken, does she work like in like a fruit bar, melon bar kind of situation? Because Hero does the same, and she's heard the same kind of nonsense. This episode did go in a weird direction. It really did, but that's what makes it fun. And it's all for the chat. I mean, you guys kind of lead this a lot of times, and it's cool where it goes because it's awesome because there's so much different stuff that comes through. And it's entering conversation. But, getting back to the grocery thing, I mean, the employees in these stores, man, I mean, it's a full on assault. And, like I said, not that they're very self-aware anyway. Customers this time of year are any self-awareness they did have, it's gone. It's gone, even if they had any, because you will get mowed down. That you could have a 7-foot tall pallet pulling a pallet jack, full of like say sugar or whatnot down the floor. They'll see you, and they ain't moving. They going to get their cranberry sauce and their jarred gravy, and they're basically daring you to like run them over. And it's just like, come on. And getting from one side of the store to the other side of the store, it's like bob and weave, man. It's like a running back in football trying to, get to the end zone, cut, duck and roll. And it's nonsense, absolute nonsense. And these people act like they've never shopped before. And the thing that kills me now, I understand from a financial standpoint, because, I mean, let's look at it. I mean, due to inflation and stuff, prices have went up. People have the budget. Okay, so there are some people that probably were not able to shop until like this week. And I feel sorry for them because, they might not have had the option to get out and get what they needed to get. So they may suffer from the fact that, hey, these places are out of stuff. And that is unfortunate. And that's what makes the system so unfair. They may have had to pay a bill or something and say, oh, you know what, I got to wait one more week and I'll get everything. And they miss something. And to a lot of people, the holiday means a lot to them. Imagine being that kind of nostalgic person that Thanksgiving means a lot to you and your family, and you've got to put off all this stuff, and you finally get to the point where you're like, hey, I can go do this, and you have in your mind what you want to do, and you can't. And that does kind of suck. That's kind of terrible. But, today's Grocery Black Friday. It really is. And I do work tomorrow. And, I work 12 to 8 store. It's fine because you know what? It's not going to be that busy. Tomorrow's going to be like last minute. But another company that a lot of people don't realize that gets completely assaulted today and tomorrow is Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, less payroll than a grocery store by leaps and bounds, is like the last minute destination for things that people forgot. Aluminum cooking pans, paper towels, paper plates, turkey bags, all those things. And it's a zoo. Hero is right. Foil pan chaos. To give you an idea, when I was at Dollar Tree, what would happen is you would get in this ridiculous shipment of foil pans. And literally, if you go into a Dollar Tree, the way it used to be, there was a table set up front. It was like item of the week. It could be some little nonsense knick-knack or whatnot. Oh, but when Thanksgiving comes, that goes from a little table to a complete, like, huge floor stack of aluminum trays and aluminum pans. It's just ridiculous. Erica says, and you have so many Kroger employees nationwide working for free due to the pay glitch and dealing with the asshole customers on top. Yeah. Yes, that is correct. The payroll glitch thing, that's some bullshit is what that is. Blame Tech says, oh, and a lot of people at Winn-Dixie getting those full term. Yeah. Oh, another thing talking about grocery, Blame Tag, Winn-Dixie obviously is down there where you're at. Southeastern Grocers, the parent company of them, is looking to sell out. And I think they own Winn-Dixie and they own one other chain. I'm not real sure, but they're looking to get out of the business completely and sell the company. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Hero says, cut the box open and run away. Yes. Erica says black eyed peas for New Year's. Yep. Jill says the biggest thing here for last minute things is whipped cream and butter. Yes. Welcome, Hybrid. I don't know if Kroger will buy them, Erica. I think that they're looking. I think because of the Kroger Albertson thing, Southeastern Grocers, which has had problems anyway, because we had a local chain in Southeast called Bilo that they bought years ago. It folded. It doesn't exist anymore. They just don't have the pull and the distributorships that a lot of companies do. So Publix, I don't think would buy. I've got a theory. I'm not going to get into it because of where I work, but I think you'll see a different player in the game. I just think so. But you know, with grocery stores and whatnot, man, this time of year, I mean, is rough. But here's the thing, and you know, several of you have mentioned it in the chat about like black eyed peas, collard greens, stuff like that. This stuff doesn't stop. I mean, yes, today is like the apocalypse in grocery, but this goes on through the end of the year. I mean, why? You got holiday parties. You've got, you know, people doing Christmas get-togethers. You got people doing Thanksgiving later. And if you live in a football area, you know, you got Thanksgiving tomorrow. Then you got rivalry Saturday. Blame tag. You and your Mrs. Blame tag should be familiar with this as well, due to your birthday decorations. But anyway, you've got rivalry weekend this weekend. So you got Thanksgiving on Thursday, and you'd think, oh, they're done. We're gonna get a couple of days break. Oh, no. You don't, because Saturday at noon, you have a home game close by with the two interstate rivals. So all these people who wound up buying all this food and, you know, going on and on and on, they're going to be coming in on Saturday morning wanting fruit trays, vegetable trays, chicken wings, all the stuff for, you know, their tailgating party. And it's a condensed amount of time because the game kicks off at noon. Now, if the game's a little bit later, like at 3:30, it's a run up to that, but it doesn't stop. So then you got that. And then the following week, you have conference championships. Then the following week, you're getting closer to Christmas, and you've got church parties. Like Jason just said, you've got church parties, you've got businesses having their own little functions, you've got, you know, holiday parties, schools, and then don't forget about your bakery folk either, because you're in a football area. Now your bakery's got to do cupcakes and cookie cakes and stuff decorated in the team colors, and your floral person has to have balloons, and it's an onslaught from now until January. So the break off is when collard greens and black eyed peas hit, because that's that signifies it's almost over. And you know, it's grocery stores by and large have more payroll than most other retailers. I mean, they really do. And you know, they're having, you know, just as much problems staffing as others, but it's go. And then think of us folks that do the stocking and whatnot. The trucks get bigger and bigger and bigger up until this week, and we might have a little bit of a flat line, but they're not going to be small until we get into February. You know, it's because you sit back and you look and you're like, my God, how much fucking food can these people eat? My boss had a great idea last year. He said he was going to open up a weight loss clinic like next door. He'd be double dipping, but that was smart. I went into work, Sunday. Last Sunday went shopping, and we needed coffee creamer, and there wasn't much. I mean, the entire dairy was blowed out. And I go to work on Monday, and I'm dairy support on Monday. The entire thing was just empty. I mean, it's like, my God, how much can y'all buy? And you fill it up. Oh, guess what? By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're right back where you were. That's the thing about working in retail or grocery and you stock. You never are able to make it look good and it stay good. It is a constant, repetitious cycle of gluttony from people who will just come, you know, completely annihilate whatever it is you just stocked. It's over and over and over and over again. And But yeah, I mean, it's tragic, for the employees because, it's hard, especially if you wind up like Jill or Adria or Hero or people like that are working in a production standpoint at a grocery store. If you're chopping fruit, you're chopping vegetables, you're making trays, you're making cakes, you're making all this other stuff. That's really hard because you have to deal with people that want shit now. And it just doesn't happen that way. Or, there's a certain way you do a certain thing, and they come in and they want to custom order something that's just like out in left field and throws everything in a wrench. And you have people, I know this for a fact. Somebody can make a tray, put it out, it's 100% fresh. A customer comes up and says, "No, I want a fresh one." Well, I just put that one out. No, I want one now. It is absolutely ridiculous. To kind of your point, Hero, why can they not understand ordering ahead? Probably because of their concept of freshness. And mind you, these people are going to get in your grill over shit, over ridiculous stuff. Mind you, these are the same people that are going to pay $5 for celery that's chopped up when they could go buy an actual thing of celery for like $1.99 and go home and chop it because they're lazy. Just lazy. Like I said, we discussed this before. That bullshit is insane. But because they're lazy, and I guess maybe they think since they're paying more, they're entitled. No. But those folks that work in like, the departments where you're producing stuff, constantly, is nah, man, that's rough. But Jill says cheese and charcuterie plates. These people are evil with their demands. Yeah, because there's always those folks that do something outside the norm that throws everything off. And then they get pissed off if they throw something at you that you've never heard of and you're asking questions. And then they're like, "Oh, well, shouldn't you know what that is?" Well, no, maybe not. No. And, in this time of year, we talk about retail a lot and Black Friday, how bad it is. But, for the most part in history, Black Friday was a buildup, and then you had that big day of death, right? Grocery, this stuff builds like over weeks and weeks and weeks. You can see it when it starts. You can see an uptick and know when, the wheels are about to come off the wagon. But it's a steady increase from probably 2.5 weeks ago till, like we've said, February. Retail doesn't really have that. Retail, Black Friday comes and you make it to Christmas Eve. And we all know this. If you've worked in retail or if you've been a manager, Christmas happens, bam, payroll gets cut, sales go down. That's what happens. And it usually runs that way till like March, sometimes April. Guess what? Everybody needs to eat. Grocery store doesn't drop off like that at all. Jason says, I always like is there fresher in the back? No. What do you think the back is? Hero says, coming to produce, mad that there's no cheese trays. Yeah, because produce doesn't handle cheese. Kira says, I'm still getting paid $12 an hour, even if you're paying $20 for cut up fruit. So fuck off. Right. So yeah, grocery is, I think it's a secure business if you work for a good company, for one thing. Because it's necessities. When I worked at home, we didn't sell anything there that anybody needed to live. Guitar Center, nobody needs that. Musicians will argue I need guitar strings and whatnot, but you can get them other places. But anyway, working in somewhere that sells perishables, you sell something that people need. And it's because of that, you deal with all kinds of people, all kinds. Blame Tag says the back is a magical place where you can find anything you need unless you get lost and haven't been seen for years. Jill says, if I hear one more customer tell me about checking in the back, I think I'll vomit. I really wish that our employers would allow us to take people back to the stock room and be like, are you not entertained? Take them back there and let them see, what do you think's back here? Do they think, what was it? What sci-fi show was it? Was it Star Trek, where they had like this little weird microwave thing where they pressed a button and there was like the food that they wanted? It was some science fiction show or whatnot. It doesn't work that way. And Hero says, somebody get me a clip of him saying people don't need guitars. I haven't bought a guitar in a long time. So, there. Don't tempt me. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, groceries hard. Having to deal with this influx of people, and I do feel sorry for her. I mean, it was Star Trek. Okay. Erica says some people take it upon themselves to walk. Yes, that actually happened last night, as a matter of fact. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Jason says stockroom is a cornucopia hook straight to the fields. Yes. And they do. I mean, and this time of year, I mean, especially in grocery, when they're looking for something they can't find, boom. You could have like a sign on the back room door that says employees only that was like on fire, or it would electrocute somebody. They'll still come through. They don't care. I don't care. Can I get some boxes? No. Go to UPS. Go to USPS. Oh, the replicator. That's what it's called. Yeah, I knew I saw that somewhere. I guess that's what they think it is back there. We got a replicator in the back. Yes, if it was that simple, why don't you have one at home? Replicate your own shit, bitch. You know? And, but yeah, I mean, it's like, I wish we could give, and this is a way to make money. I just thought of this. Businesses should start charging like $2, $3 a head to take customers on a tour of the back room. We can make some money, and we can prove to them the back ain't what they think it is. That would be perfect. I think we need back room tours, especially when they go into stores that are well maintained and there's nothing in the back room. That's really going to piss them off. But hey, you say it's back here, because there's nothing more infuriating than being somebody over a back room, or what you have, all that other kind of shit, right? For a fact you don't have something. And you have to go back there and pretend to look so the customer doesn't complain. But it's not back there. It's like, what the hell? Jason says, if you can find it, you can work here. Hey, that's good. Hero says a Dollar Tree backroom tour murder mystery. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever ask somebody at a Dollar Tree to go check in the back, because they're not going to be able to find it if it's back there. It's just piles and piles of boxes everywhere. Don't believe me? Google Dollar Tree backroom images. That's about what they all look like. So give it up. It ain't happening. Jill says, I had someone get up in my face about whether the coffee grind was regular or fine. This was about pre-ground coffee. I had no idea. None of us do. We read the packages just like everybody else. Blame Texas. You charge me for this? There's nothing back here. Yeah, no shit. Hey, it's a win-win. Piss them off and you take their hash. I just don't get it. I really don't understand. I mean, it's Nightmare says, I can verify that as the next Dollar Tree employee. Yeah, those back rooms are nightmare. Nightmares in store. Didn't you love inventory at a Dollar Tree? Nightmare. But yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about, keep retail employees and service industry employees in your thoughts and all this stuff this time of year. Man, grocery folk, I mean, number one, you got to think they were essential. They were the ones, I would love to see a statistic on the amount of deaths from COVID. I know that sounds morbid, but I'm willing to bet that the largest majority of deaths from COVID in the retail / the business industry were grocery. Guaranteed. Because those are the ones that had to stay open. And there were no protections. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. And it was like shooting fish in a barrel. It's just terrible. Terrible. So, Hero says, I'd love to be able to have one day where I could just be like, holy shit, I can't believe we didn't think to bring that out. Yeah, that'd be great. And see, that's the other thing, any of you that work in a grocery store, everything's about margins for departments and making sure that, you've got certain things out and you're selling through and you don't have a lot of waste and things like that. The average customer doesn't understand how much of a focus that is, which tends to lean towards their whole what's in the back bullshit. Man, if you got good department managers and whatnot that know what's going on, trust me, if it's going to go out, they got it out. Now, that doesn't mean there are going to be some departments that don't. There are going to be some departments that will tell you they don't have it, and they don't even know what they fucking have anyway. The ones that are running the department, they have no clue. They're just making shit up. Their shit's so disorganized or whatnot, you can't find. I mean, it happens. It's all businesses. I mean, just regular retail. You got department managers, same thing. They don't know what's going on in the department, but they're there doing whatever. It does happen. But fortunately, where I work, in our departments, we got some pretty good people, and they've been around a while and they understand the business. It's not all of them, all right. And I'm not gonna say the whole place is great, but for the most part, most of our department people are on point. Blame Tech says, I hate to say this and be the asshole, but I've actually found it back there 2 or 3 times. Stalkers running out of time and leaving shit. That's fairly factual too, especially in a business like yours. I can promise you it's not like that in most grocery. Well, okay. It's not like that in most grocery stores if you have a management staff and a stock staff that's worth a damn. That all hinges on that. If the staff's bad, chances are. But you got to have a good team, and that starts at the top with management and management hiring people and putting a good team of people together, and that's a conversation we've had before. Hero says, imagine being sad about being away from family this time of year and go day in, day out hearing this crap from customers. Real talk. The customer is full of bullshit. Don't take it to heart and let it get to you and take away something special from your loved ones. Agreed. I'm going to say something. I have been desensitized for the holidays. The amount of holiday damage that Hobby Lobby specifically did to me, it changed me as an individual. I have a wonderful family who is very nostalgic and loves the holidays, and I'm basically like Ebenezer Scrooge. I mean, I'm completely numb. It's unfortunate because I wish I wasn't that way, but I'm not going to fake it. I'm not going to act like, oh look, there's the Christmas tree. Yeah, no, that's not me. But that's something to take into consideration too with the people that work these businesses. Long-term people in these businesses turn into this. Turn into the guy who, or gal who just hates the holidays. I'm a Clemson Tiger fan, and our head coach is Dabo Swinney. Love him or hate him, whatever. There's one thing he always talks about is he doesn't let people steal his joy. Well, that's not a lesson that I learned a long time ago because the retail business stole my joy. And my advice to everyone is don't let it steal yours because the holidays, for some people, that's their joy. And we can joke and, whatnot. Oh, Halloween's not even here. Why they're still on Christmas and stuff like it. There are some people that means a lot to. It doesn't mean anything to me, and that's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't that way. But for those that it does mean something to, let it mean something to them. And that's something that I need to be better at too, because, holidays are just like, it's just a day off, yeah. Nightmare says, I've argued with customers saying it's not in the back, then checked and found it in the back and had to lie to save my pride. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah. Jill says the problem is, why do customers feel entitled to bark at workers about finding stuff in the back, even though some other worker may haven't done something right? The customer should not get to dictate. That's the problem. It's. I had a conversation with somebody the other day whilst working, and they were complaining about there was something we didn't get in or whatnot. I'm like, fuck them. They can go to Walmart. That's where I'm at. Now, would I say that to a customer? No. I might look at them and be very, very nice, have customer service voice or not but be thinking, I don't fucking care, we ain't got it, go on. It's you just can't. But, and then Hero trying to call me out on my holiday speech, says the guy who put the Christmas tree up last year because I was working 1 billion hours. Holo may have broken, but he loves us. I do. But the holidays don't mean shit to me. That's sad. I don't give a damn about my birthday. I don't care about Thanksgiving. I don't care about Christmas. The only holiday I enjoy is Halloween. That's it. That's it. Because it's spooky time. Irish says, hey, Blame Tag, just thought of a story. You could rewrite the Grinch's backstory. He's like that because he used to work retail. Oh, you better credit Irish because that is Jill, that is great. That is damn perfect. It's the Grinch's origin story. Blame Tag. You could be famous on this one. Like famous. Wow. Mrs. Blame Tag says, Mel, you're totally justified in not saving face. You're saving the world from false expectations that items are always in the back. Mrs. Blame Tag for the win. Perfect. But yeah, this has been interesting. And Hero's right. We live in an immediate gratification society, and that is terrible. And you know what's fostered that? Social media and, the information age. Now you need a recipe. Boom, you go online. There it is. You need this. Amazon. Boom, there it is. Technology. I love technology. A lot of it I think is great, but it's ruined a lot too. A whole lot. Blame Texas. I got a really good one from Ranty Coo. I got to be crediting a lot of people this season. Hero says, yeah, you see all the food those dang who's ate. Yeah. But you know what? And this is great. I know a little while back here in the chat, I think it was Blame Tag said this took an interesting turn. This is what makes this great. This is what's cool, is having you guys in the chat just chopping it up over shit. This is amazing. This is the kind of stuff that I get my jollies on. It's cool seeing you guys throw ideas out there. It's cool seeing you guys talk about different things. It's cool that we can all have differing opinions and not fight. I mean, that's awesome, man. That's what makes all this worthwhile. Every bit of it. I don't feel the greatest right now, but I'm here. I mean, hell, last year I did an episode while I had COVID, Oh, solidarity with rail workers too. I want to touch on that real quick. If you haven't been following that, if y'all thought Christmas during COVID was bad, if the rail workers strike, oh boy, y'all better hold on your hats. It's going to be something to see, because if the rails shut down, that's it. All right, Ms. Blame Tag, we can beef over it. You know what? If somebody bought me a can of it and I didn't want it, I would personally send it overnight to you, just so you could have it. Look at it this way. People like me means that you get more. I'm one less person to buy it. Jill says, I hope they do strike for their own sake. It's time. I agree. And the White House got involved in all this. And I've said this before, I don't like to get political, but the White House getting involved in this is from an economic standpoint from Wall Street. It's all about saving big, was it too big to fail, right? They're not trying to broker a deal for the rail workers. They're trying to find a Band-Aid to make sure capitalism keeps moving. And that's why I'm okay with the rail workers turning it down. Put the screws to them, man. Shut it down. If you're somebody like me, the holidays don't really mean, okay. What? I mean, I'm Southern. I'm perfectly fine eating a can of beans, sandwiches, whatever I need to have something to eat, right? It might not be glamorous. So if the rail shut down and crumples everything, hey, maybe the rail workers are going to wind up being the real heroes, because somebody needs to. I mean, it's so disingenuous that the government is getting involved trying to act like they're making things better when they're not. And they're just trying to save profits on Wall Street. That's really all they're doing. So go, rail workers, do your thing. Shut it down. We'll be all right. If there's people out there that aren't going to be all right, man, y'all should have done some studying or learning how to fend for yourself or something out there. So, Blame Tech says the Retail Industry Leaders Association is asking Congress to intervene. Of course they are. Of course they are. Because we're coming up on December. This is Q4. This is the perfect time. The perfect time for the rail workers to walk. Because you know what? The closer you get to Christmas and the longer they strike, the more power they have to bargain and get what they deserve. Because they can shut it down. And they're an industry that, really could start like a tidal wave of change within a lot of different sectors of retail and all the other industries by doing so. And, we've talked about general strikes and things like that. The biggest fear and all that is, and this is why capitalism sucks for so many people, is there's a lot of us who would love to go on strike, on a general strike, right? But guess what? The landlord's not going to care if we don't have any money coming in because we're fighting for something. The power company isn't going to care. The water company isn't going to care. The people that financed your car aren't going to care. The people you pay rent to aren't going to care. So they've got you by the balls. So there's got to be a better way to figure out how to stand up for it and break the system without everybody getting put out on their ear. And that's the only thing that's holding it back. That is it. That is the only thing. It's the fact that you're held back by necessities. I mean, it's kind of like prison, in a way. Jill says the wage raises in the deal don't keep up with inflation, so it's not actually raised. Correct. I mean, my God. I mean, us that work in retail and grocery and all shit, who you talking to about, inflation and wages, man? We getting fucked. Have been. The only thing that saves it is if you're lucky enough to find something that you truly enjoy. And that kind of lessens the sting. But I'm telling you, as a single individual, man, it's hard to make it out there. It's hard enough as a couple. But as a single individual, shit, it's rough. Blame Tag says the deal gives them money, but not the quality of life changes they actually asked for. We'll give them to them. That's the thing. Truck drivers, rail workers, it's crazy. I mean, these are the businesses that keep capitalism moving, And if they really cared that much about their precious dollar, they give them whatever they want. But they're not going to. And that's a shame. So, you're right, Tiffany. Single people in this economy, it's rough. I don't believe anybody should have things given to them, but I do believe that there's a better way and things can be more fair. And that, I'm going to die on this hill. A lot of people don't like it. You'll see a lot of headlines out there talking about how wage increases are killing small business. Okay. That's probably true. But I'll say it again. If your business plan and your business model relies on you paying people the least amount you could pay them, you probably shouldn't be starting a business. And I get tired of hearing people complain about how, my business is going under because I can't pay these people. Well, you didn't adjust with the times either. It's fair's fair. Nobody's asking for a handout. I mean, some people are, but I mean, everybody's just asking for something that's fair. And when inflation shoots up like it has and wages do not match even at all, we got a problem. And don't get me started about, the minimum wage for servers. That's some bullshit in itself. So, but having said that, we're sitting at hour 10. This has been quite the engaging conversation. I enjoy it greatly. So, I've got to check the date. I think the Friday I have a server on. That'll be cool. Should be waiting on Stupid. Then Wednesday, I've got Mr. Petrovelli again. So that'll be cool. And then we'll keep going from there. So, once again, if you guys have not, subscribed to our channel or anything like that, please go ahead and do so. Like I said, I don't make any money on this, so it'd be nice to get the word spread around. Also, too, don't forget the Christmas merchandise. Ooh, we have somebody new. The Christmas merchandise, like I said, there's a promo code, so you don't have to pay shipping. Like I said, everything's expensive everywhere. Just know that I'm not gouging anybody. I'm sitting there doing these shirts and whatnot, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, the cost on, I mean, God, the cost on like a fucking t-shirt now is like $16, $17. It's crazy. But anyway, so check it out. You know, if there's somebody that you know that would enjoy it, buy it for them or whatnot. It'd be kind of cool. You know, I would like to see, you know, shirts spread around somewhere. Somebody send me a picture of. I mean, I know they're in Ireland. I know we got Warzone merchandise there. Check out the pennants though. The pennants are cool. I'd be A-okay if the only thing anybody ever bought was the Irish Connection pennant. It's actually cool. The serving times. Share your favorite serving times articles. Proud sponsor of the Retail Warzone. Yes, go check his shit out, man. If you are not reading the serving times, you are missing out. But having said that, everybody, I'll post on Twitter and wherever what's coming up next. The audio will be up for this probably sometime later tonight. Everybody have a great evening. Have the best holiday you possibly can tomorrow if you celebrate. Enjoy your time with your family. Don't be a grumpy growl gut Grinch like me. Enjoy every bit of it. And if you love cranberry sauce, eat it and relish it. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next time.